Okay, so the issue is that we are having some Gravity Forms spam, and this comment blacklist manager is going to help us out a lot, in addition to Gravity Forms blacklist from GravityWiz Gravity Perks. So you can see here we've got some unread, recent submissions, and I reviewed some of them and left some unread as things that we would want to block in the future. So you can see here, claim your free prize and some other things. Cialis, etc. So the solution is to download your perks. So download Gravity Perk. You got to buy it, but it works really well. And it's GP Blacklist. Download the perk, install it, which I've already done. And then this comment blacklist manager gets its list from this blacklist.txt, and that's a really large file. And basically what happens is every 24 hours, this plugin will update your, let's see, your comment disallowed keys. And it's an alternative to Jetpack's Akismet solution, which is $10 a month. It used to be $5 a month. And it's also an alternative to reCAPTCHA, or in addition to. This site has actually been using reCAPTCHA. It's definitely helped a lot, and maybe all the way, but this is just an alternative solution. And to be honest, a little easier to set up. So we activate this plugin. Then we go to our discussion settings. And you can see it already downloaded everything. And it's a long list. And if you were to add something in here, things like SEO, it's so long the browser is kind of struggling with it. If you were to add something custom in here, it would be overwritten. So they offer us this local blacklist text area where we can add additional items. And we're going to, so we know that Cialis is probably already in here. Yep. So this one will be taken care of in the future. And we can check out certain domains. It's probably not a domain that we would accept from again. This one looks fine. Okay, so here's one. We want to purchase construction equipment. It doesn't look too odd or harmful in the content. It's not like Cialis, but I've just seen this myself across multiple sites that I manage. And then we also see down here, this similar type of messaging. So what I want to do is I don't want to be overcorrecting where it says, like, I don't want to search for construction equipment. That's just too generic. Maybe somebody really wants to send me a message about construction equipment. So what I'm going to do is use this blacklist kind of like an email exclusion as well. I don't know if this is a real good email, but whoever's using it is using it for the wrong purposes as far as our site is concerned. I don't even know what this website is. Okay, that's obviously a bad thing, so let's include that in here if it's not already. Okay, browser search says it's not. That one's taken care of. So we're just going through trying to avoid the same things from happening over and over. and it's very site specific. So notice I've dealt with this enough times in the past, 131 in the trash. We don't really delete them. Notice 640 unless they're spammy. So this one I don't see anything. Kinds of credit cards you accept might be a phrase. We could specify this email address. Let's look up and see if email is that. Well, that's not searching the trash. So look at the trash. How many of these? Yeah, he's only submitted it once, so we can just kind of ignore it. So a lot of this stuff, today's September 21, so not too much recently, or at least since I installed reCAPTCHA. Looks like pineapple staffing is kind of too aggressive for our liking and we're not interested. So we can look through and see. This one only happened once. So this specific website situation, we've already kind of combated this multiple times, and we've resolved a lot of these issues partially through reCAPTCHA. I feel like I've seen this guy more than once. What is that, October 22? Either way, it doesn't hurt to add it. So we're gonna add to our own local blacklist. And the tricky part of this, you'll notice you would assume it works. You know, it just displays as if we've got a local and a disallowed, and they would all be considered when we're blocking gravity form submissions. But that's not the case. So every 24 hours, it gets a fresh copy from this URL. And only when it gets a copy from that URL does it also include your local blacklist, and it merges them. So what we have to do is we have to run a manual update, because right now this email address would not be blocked. And notice the disallowed comment keys get inserted at the top of here now. So if we were to just manually insert them there, they would be overwritten every time it goes and gets this fresh copy. So we have to include it here, and then only after 24 hours or manual fetching does it insert, and it just basically copies these and merges them together. So now what we do is we want to edit the form. So the contact form needs to be edited, and we're going to go to perks and validate our email field and our message field. And notice we're also using reCAPTCHA, and save the form. So we've got multiple forms. We have to do it on each one. We haven't noticed spam on this one. It's a fairly lengthy form. So it's kind of a game. Whenever we see bad activity, we want to avoid repeating that in the future. And all this is going to do is display an error message that says, hey, you've included words we don't allow. So if it is a real human being, they're going to get a friendly message. And if it's not, then oops, then we don't care if it's not a real person who's really trying to contact us. Okay, and notice I'm still logged in as an administrator here. And we can use one of these emails or these domains. So like Cliff at. Okay, errors have been highlighted below. So the text contains blacklisted words, and we know that Adidas with an underscore was disallowed. So now this error message should go away. And it does. And then, of course, we're not going to submit this for real, but we know that that the email field is allowed to validate, just that it wasn't because of the error. And so now if we were to take off Adidas, it would go through. And that's that. So this is with, just straight in Gravity Forms. When we go to entries, it doesn't show up because it just never passed validation, never got submitted. So looking good.